What's up, everybody? And it's been a very long time since we got a chance to review some Walking Dead content. So that's right, I'm back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 10, Episode 17, Home Sweet Home. This is one of the 6 episodes that's going to be part of the special extra episodes of Season 10. This is going to be premiering on AMC February 28th, and then on, or should I say before then, on AMC Plus February 21st. So yeah, I did get a chance to check this episode out. I'm definitely here to break it all down to you all. The embargo's lifted, so I can definitely break down all of the points. And even still, I'm still going to protect some of the points on it because I want you all to enjoy it. So I'm not going to break any super spoilers in this review. Sorry, I know you guys want them, but no, I'm not going to do that. I want you to have a chance to enjoy it for yourself. But begin this episode, Maggie's back. Maggie was back last episode, but Maggie's back, and now we're getting to really get acclimated as to what she's been up to, where she's been since she was, written off the show, now returned, and, kind of getting that backstory. So, yes, Maggie is back, and she is coming home. But, as you would imagine, there's no hatred lost between Maggie and Negan. Well, I guess Negan is, kind of trying to do some spiritual healing within himself, but Maggie doesn't care about all that. She definitely has, as you can see in her eyes the first time she looks at him, there's no hatred lost for that man. And obviously, rightfully so, because, she ripped apart her life and the brutal killing of one of our favorite characters, Glenn. But, to be honest, even though, we can tell that it's hatred, I still really don't know what to make between the dynamic between the two of them. I don't know how that may all resolve. I feel like that potentially can go a couple of different ways, but I just don't really know. But along with Maggie returning, we get introduced into Maggie's people. We got a name behind the masked character who was just completely ripping apart everything on episode 16. Elijah, excuse me, and then the other main focal guy in Cole, which I'm pretty cool with them. I'm gonna talk about Elijah in a second, but I will say that Maggie's people really trust her. They really look up to her as being a leader, and they depend on her in survival. So you're gonna see them turn to her a very lot throughout this episode, as far as with reasoning, strategy and whatnot. And Maggie's always been the leader, so there's no surprise there. But even with how skilled her people are, they truly look up to her, and she's skilled too. I'm gonna be honest, the first 5 seconds of the episode, yeah, Maggie's out here killing stuff. So that's all I'm gonna say. But Maggie, now that she's back, she's like, hey, let's go back to Hilltop. Oh wait, she wasn't here when the Whispers completely decimated Hilltop, so there is no Hilltop for her to return to. But with that being said, Carol cuts it straight with her. Carol lets her know what happened with the Whispers, what happened with Negan. And there's a lot of respect between the two of them, as you would imagine. Two strong women that's been on the road with each other for a very long time. So, even though it may not have been exactly what Maggie wanted to hear as far as how Negan is still around, there's still a lot of respect between the two of them because Carol had to do what she had to do for the reason she's did it. With that being said, we do get to see our, with all of our favorites reuniting, we get to see them back in action all together as they take down a small herd before they make camp for the night, because pretty much they're just looking for shelter, because now that, Hilltop's gone, they're going back to Alexandria. So yeah, there's a long journey on their way back there. So, they got a little bit of an obstacle, but it's really cool seeing them all together. It felt like the Avengers, shall I say, when they all get together to take down a small herd. But I will say that one of the most important moments of this entire episode is Daryl and Maggie as they make shelter for the night. They really have a really deep conversation because we get to know about what Maggie's been up to, how she's been surviving. Where is Georgie, the one that she left with? We get to know more about the group and the challenges that the group had to endure while they was on the road. Her son, Herschel, who's going to be one of my favorite characters, I can tell, moving forward. This little boy is just, as much as he resembles Glenn as far as his outfit and mannerisms, I just think his charisma is just going to be really to take to as we move forward. So her with Glenn, with grieving with Glenn with her son Herschel, and it just gets really emotional because like they have some realistic conversations. Like Maggie talks about the time when Herschel asks, "How did her dad die?" And that's not going to be an easy conversation. And he immediately asks him, "Did the person that killed him, did he get what he deserved?" And you know how Maggie already feels about that. Imagine her having to explain that to her son. So it gets really deep, and Daryl's obviously being the voice of reason, and it's just it's one of the most important moments of this entire episode. But with that being said, too, we also find out why she left. I mean, we all know why she left because she was leaving the show. But like, the character, we understand why she left, and she cut it straight up. She said Negan was taking too much space in her head, and she could not live that way. And I see statements like that is what's going to make it really interesting between her and Negan within this next season, these next few episodes. Like, I'm very curious how it's going to play out, but I really don't know what to make of it. But beyond that too, everybody's just trying to find a bond with one another. And I thought another really interesting bond was between Kelly and the masked man, Elijah. And like, Kelly is still continuing to search for Connie, but I will say that the bond between the two of them is also going to be very interesting. And I was going to say this in a little bit, but I'll just say it now. I'm a little disappointed that they unmasked him so quick. I was loving the mystique of not knowing who was behind the mask. But in the fashion of how they did it, I absolutely understand the purpose. And I think it's going to bring a level of dynamic to that character, because with the mask, we see him just kicking ass left and right. But under the mask, we get an idea of like who's truly the person behind it, what they're actually dealing with, and just how to relate to him. With that being said, everyone's suffering emotionally, and that's why everybody's trying to find a bond with one another. And even with the whisper is gone, like obviously the physical the physical pain and obstacle that they have to go through, everyone's really still dealing with a lot of inner challenges. With that being said, again, Maggie people are still looking up to her to be the leader. So like Maggie has a lot on her shoulder, trying to help her people survive, but also trying to keep balance amongst them emotionally, because everyone's been through a lot. That's just the bottom line of it. But now we also get to know a little bit more about Maggie's people, because we know that why they're even on the road in the first place is because they were attacked. They were attacked by and was forced to leave their home by another new group now, the Reapers, which we don't get much. I mean, so we start to get some information on them, and then it's kind of quickly halted because some other things kind of transpire a little bit in a little bit. But nonetheless, with Maggie and Cole and Elijah now, scavenging around to kind of figure out where they're now gonna locate. They left some other people in a little stationary hut, and now that hut's on fire, and now they're all gone. They're all missing, including Herschel. So with that being said, now that Herschel's missing, it's gonna send Maggie into a frenzy. It's up to them to figure out where he's at, but also who is attacking him. Like, it for 1 minute, everything was all fun and games and whatnot, but it gets really serious really quick because they now are in an unexpected fight by an unseen and unknown threat. But like this mysterious foe, like we don't know if he's alone, if he's in a group, is he part of the Reapers, or is it a completely other different entity, whatever it may be. Nonetheless, everyone's being targeted and some are being picked off one by one. So I will say, like, the last 15 minutes of this episode is a lot of good action. Again, I don't want to spoil any of the specifics of it, but it's a lot of good action. I expect some blood splatter and some other really cool things as well. But ultimately, we get a few funny moments by Daryl, which I always can enjoy when Daryl kind of comes out of his shell a little. But also, I think one of my favorite characters is going to be young Herschel. I think this little boy is just gleaming charisma, and he's channeling his inner Glenn, looking just like him with his clothing and whatnot. And now it's time for the rebuilding of Alexandria. So yes, that's all that happens in episode 17, Home Sweet Home. It was a really good episode. I'm so glad The Walking Dead is back. I am going to get ready to review episode 18. So step over to that video now if you want to see what's going on in that episode. But until then, folks, everybody stay safe. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this episode, and I'll see you all very soon.